Ready to start a new semester of English? I'm not hearing any cheering.
Yay!
Thank you, Spencer. I appreciate that. Has anybody gotten their packet yet? Apparently not. I can't hear you, Tori and Raya. But keep working on it, and if not, just use the chat, and we'll figure something out. All right. I'll try to keep an eye on it so that we can see you. All right. In any event, the packet should have been mailed out on Friday or so, and so you should be getting them any day now. In the meantime, if you don't get your packet and you want to press forward, I don't have a lot of assignments for you for these first couple of lessons, so we're going to kind of ease you into it. But the packet is on Brain Honey, so you should be able to do that without any difficulty. Okay. Has anybody tried to look at the course yet on Brain Honey? No? Okay. All right. Well, let's just go ahead and I'll give you an overview of everything that we're going to be doing today, so that we can you can feel like you know exactly what's going to happen, and then I'll tell you what the first assignment is, and we'll kind of ease you into the things. All right. First off, I wanted to start with Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 7. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Tanlin, what do you think about this scripture, and why do you think that it might be appropriate for the beginning of a semester?
So we can prepare ourselves for what we're going to learn.
Okay, good. Excellent. So you need to prepare yourselves for what you learn, right? Okay, Spencer, what do you think?
I think it says, prepare thyself and all thy company that are assembled unto thee. So maybe, I don't know, maybe use a teacher, help us to get prepared. I don't know.
Okay, good. You know, and that is one of the things that I was thinking about as I selected this was I need to help you all be prepared. I need to help all of the students and all of us to be ready so that we're there. Tori, Mariah, anything you want to add?
Can you hear us?
We can now, yes.
Okay, good. Just basically what they said, just to be prepared and to prepare ourselves.
Okay. So we all want to be prepared. And, you know, at the beginning of last term, I had this big, long presentation where I told you about all the things that I wanted you to do and be ready for. We're not going to go through that kind of thing again this semester, but I do want you to kind of think about that and about what you need to be prepared for class. One of the things that I've noticed is when students have read stuff in advance, the discussions that we have here in class are so much better. And I also think that you get more out of the lessons if you've read the reading assignments in advance. Would anybody agree with that other than me?
I agree.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, so, and I know it's difficult at times to keep up, and I've changed the format a little bit because I decided that I was probably trying to get everybody to do too much. So when we go through everything, I'll show you, and you'll see how the format is different this time. So hopefully it is much more manageable for everybody this semester than last semester, and also much more enjoyable. All right, so what we're going to look at today is we're going to look at an overview of the literature that we're going to read this semester. So I'm going to introduce you to everything. I'm also going to talk to you about the different kinds of assignments and how many of each one that we're going to have, and that's where I'm going to kind of show you the differences from last semester. Also the points and grades that will be assigned, and at the very end, a couple of reminders about ways to succeed and some of the procedures that are going to be a little different this semester than last semester, but not significantly different. All right, so let's just go ahead and begin by looking at stuff. All right, we are going to start off with Mark Twain's A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. Have any of you read that before? Good. You haven't. That means that we'll be able to enjoy it all together for the first time. I've actually read it a number of times. So, but for all of you, you'll be going through that another times. Now, the literature that we've been studying up to this point has all been written a long time ago. And Mark Twain's story was not written a long time ago. It was only written about 130 years ago. However, because he's talking about King Arthur's court, I thought that this would be a nice piece of literature to bring in at this point in time, so that you can kind of look at a different view of King Arthur and the way that he viewed that, and also some interesting concepts that he comes up with. A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court is really a great story. It's very fanciful. It's what we would probably call fantasy today. I think it's fairly enjoyable. It has some parts in it where Twain gets a little carried away by talking about some of his pet concerns. But Mark Twain is one of America's finest novelists and satirists. And so we're going to be studying about what satire is and using A Connecticut Yankee in order to learn about satire. Have any of you tried to study satire before? Spencer, what about you?
Not really.
No? Okay. Tanlin?
Maybe a little bit.
Little bit? Tanlin?
No, not really.
Okay. Tori, Mariah, what about the two of you? No? Okay. Well, this will be a good opportunity for you to be introduced to satire, and we'll talk a lot about it, what it is, and why satire is a particularly important part of literature. It's also one that is very misunderstood and is very difficult to do well. Mark Twain did it very well, and unfortunately, satire is often misunderstood for something else, and we call it sarcasm. The other thing is that it's misunderstood as being the regular viewpoint of that individual, and that can sometimes get people in trouble, which is why some of Mark Twain's books are the most banned books in America, including Huckleberry Finn. It's just not able to be read much anymore because so many people don't understand the position that Mark Twain was trying to take. So I'm really excited about this. Mark Twain is a favorite author of mine, and I have a great deal of respect for him and his writing. So that's going to be kind of interesting. We're going to try to tie this in. All right. After we finish with Mark Twain, we're going to be reading William Shakespeare's Henry V. How many of you have read Henry V before? Anybody? Okay, nobody. Does anybody know much?
Movie.
You've seen the movie, have you? Okay, the one made from Shakespeare's play?
I think so.
Which one did you see? Did you see the one with that was made just a few years ago, or did you see the older one that has Laurence Olivier in it?
The older one.
The older one? Okay. I think the more recent one is a very, very good movie. The older one has some very wonderful parts too. It doesn't move along quite as well as the recent one. Wonderful
really
play.
long.
Yeah, it is. It feels about 3 times as long as the play really is. So, Laurence Olivier had trouble cutting some of the speeches, whereas the director of the more recent one edited out the speeches quite a bit. But this is really a great play. It's a wonderful historic play about Henry V of England. It covers a fascinating period of history. It takes us up to just after Geoffrey Chaucer. Geoffrey Chaucer lived during the reign of Richard II and Henry IV. He served Richard II as well as Henry IV, and so he was living right about the time when the events in this play occurred. So Henry V has some of the most memorable speeches in all of Shakespeare in it, and we'll point out a couple of those. One of the things that we're going to be focusing on in particular are two things. First is the idea of character. We're going to be taking a very close look at the character of Henry V. And we're also going to be looking at concepts of irony and how irony is portrayed throughout the play and what that does for the play. So Henry V, William Shakespeare's probably finest historical epic, is what we'll look at. All right. Any questions about Henry V? Okay. The last one that we will look at is John Bunyan's Pilgrims Progress. This is a 17th century allegory and is a great example of this particular kind of art form. Allegory, we talked about it a little bit with respect to Beowulf, but we looked at it as how you could look at Beowulf allegorically. Here we will be looking at a piece of literature that is written as an allegory. All right? And understanding allegory is important for understanding the scriptures and understanding a lot of other things, because many of the parables and many of the things in the scriptures are allegory. And so understanding this art form can be very important. This book also will give you a good understanding of the thinking of the 17th century Puritans, which are very important for American history. The Puritans are the ones that ultimately, came across and set up New England and established the concepts of religious freedom that we have here in our country today. And they were persecuted very much by the Church of England and the government of England. And John Bunyan's Pilgrims Progress came out of some of that persecution that occurred while he was trying to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ according to his understanding. So Pilgrim's Progress is a great book. For those of you, when you get it, it doesn't matter which version of the Pilgrim's Progress you get. It has two parts, and we are only going to be looking at part one. Now, as far as the other ones, it's helpful if you get the same versions that I have. Those ISBN numbers for those versions are in the catalog. Has anybody gotten their books yet? Have you ordered your books?
No.
No? Okay. Tori and Raya, what about you?
Oh, that was us.
Oh, Tanlin, what about you?
No, I didn't.
No? Okay, Spencer?
Not yet.
Okay. I will send out an email later today that'll have all the ISBN numbers so that you can order the right ones. Henry and actually I guess it really doesn't matter if you order the same ones for Connecticut Yankee or for Henry V. The Henry V version that I like, though, is really nice because it has a lot of helpful notes, some summaries of the play, and a lot of other things that make it so that it's much easier to understand. So I'd highly recommend the version of Henry V. Connecticut Yankee and the Pilgrim's Progress, you could probably use pretty much any book. Okay? Any questions about the books that we're going to look at? Okay, you guys are being quiet today. All right. We're also going to take a look at a couple of talks, one given by Elder Ballard and one by Elder Oaks in connection with our essay projects. So these are going to be samples that you'll be able to look at and that we'll study as a way of showing us how to write these kinds of essays. They are wonderful real-life models of the kinds of writing, and these are each going to be included in the back of your packet. Like last semester, I'll also have these posted on Brain Honey. So if you can't find your packet for some reason, or it's been misplaced or whatever, then you'll be able to get it off of Brain Honey and take a look at it, okay? All right, now let's talk about the different kinds of essays that you're going to be doing. Like last semester, we're going to have two significant essays. The first one is going to be a cause and effect essay. And this will be somewhere between 6 and 8 pages in length. So this is an extensive essay. And the cause and effect essay focuses on, as you can probably imagine, the causes of things, or what the effects of those things are, and why the causes and effects are significant. And unlike last semester, I've changed the places where I give the assignments for the essay projects. And I've changed this so that you can have more time to work on these essays. So for example, I'm going to give you the cause and effect essay assignment actually on Thursday, so that you can then see how that essay is going to work, and then on halfway through the semester I'll give you the second essay, so that you can have fully 5 or 6 weeks to work on it without having to worry about coming up against the end of the semester. However, keep in mind that you can do these essays when and as you feel that you're ready for them. So I've assigned them early, but we're going to be talking about cause and effect throughout the 8 or 9 weeks after I've given the essay. So you may not want to just jump right in and write it immediately, but you also don't want to wait too long, because if you wait too long, then you're going to be in a situation where you're going to find it difficult. So let me ask you this, and I'd like you to kind of tell me what you think about it. Do you think it's better to have the essay assigned early or to have it assigned later in the semester?
Definitely early.
Okay, good. Spencer, what do you think?
I guess assigning it early is probably good.
Okay, Tanlin?
Earlier.
Earlier. Okay, good. I made the right decision. That makes me feel better. I was afraid that some of you would go, we just barely finished an essay. Now we have another one that we have to write. Anyway, so I'm going to give them to you earlier, so that'll give you as much time as you can possibly have. Now the second one that we are going to use, I call it the Synergy of Essay Types Project. It's not a very good name. It's kind of complicated. But what I want you to do is take the 3 kinds of techniques that we have learned about, compare and contrast, persuasion, and cause and effect, and you're going to put them all together into a single kind of an essay. This essay is also going to be 6 to 8 pages in length, and is going to kind of give you a lot of different options and opportunities to write different ways, okay? So this final essay is designed to kind of bring together all of the writing instruction that we've been doing into one single essay, all right? Now, unlike last semester, each essay is going to be worth 150 points. And the reason why is because I'm going to give you points for the for those earlier parts of the project. So 10 points for selecting a topic, 20 points for the outline, 20 points for your first draft, and then 100 points for the final essay. I think that this will help you move along a little bit better with your essay, because you'll have some incentive to do these earlier steps other than just getting them finished. Last time I didn't give you any points for it. This time I'm going to give you some points for it. Do you think that will help?
Wait, You didn't give us any points for what?
Okay, so for example, when you select your topic and turn it in, you'll get some points for that. Last time you didn't get any points for that. And the same with the outline in your first draft. You'll receive points towards your final grade for doing those 3 steps. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. All right, so hopefully that's going to help you move the essay along and get a better idea of where you're at with the essay and how it's going to go forward. Okay. And again, on these essays, you're going to be able to select a topic that you want to select. You'll be able to pick from a group of topics that I will recommend, but at the end of the day, you could select pretty much any topic that you want. Okay, now in addition to the formal essays, you're going to have 10 short writing assignments. Now this is significantly different than last semester. I think last semester I had, what, 17 of these? So this semester you're going to have 10. Approximately 1 every other or every 3rd lesson. Okay. I see Tori and Mariah are happy about that. Now, these are small essays, so I want you to kind of think about these as small essays. And they're each going to be worth 25 points, which is more than what I was giving for the short assignments last time. So, as I sometimes tell my students, where much is given, much is required. Keep that in mind. I'm probably going to be, well, I am going to be asking a little bit more of you on these smaller essays. Okay. First off, the length, I'd like them to be between 500 and 1,000 words in length. Okay, and that's 1 to 2.5 pages double spaced. And it just kind of depends on where you're at with each topic and how far you want to go with it as to whether you do 500 or 1,000 words. But I'd like you to kind of think about that. The other thing that I want you to think about on these essays is consider them as perhaps 5-paragraph essays. I don't necessarily want you to have to do 5 paragraphs for each of these. I'm not going to insist that you have exactly 5 paragraphs with an introduction, a conclusion, and 3 main body paragraphs. But it's an interesting way and a nice way to think about them. And I want you to spend a little more time on these short writing assignments than perhaps you did last semester. Given that there aren't as many of them, I think you should be able to do that. Now, that being said, I also want you to know that many of these informal short writing assignments will help you with your larger essays. And in fact, some of them could be first drafts or test essays that you could ultimately take, expand, and turn into your larger essay. Okay. Now, each of the short writing assignments will have a rubric associated with it, and when you look at the assignment, you'll be able to check the rubric and see what it is I'm going to grade on. And for each of them, they're going to be worth 25 points, and so there are going to be 5 parts of the rubric that each essay is going to have, and then I'll grade you on a scale of 1 to 5 for each one of those pieces. That also should help you to write the essays, because you can look at the rubric and you can say, okay, I need to make sure I talk about this, and I need to make sure I talk about this, and he's also looking for this and this and this on this particular essay. And what I'm looking for in those essays will change depending upon where we're at in the course and which major essay we're looking at, etc. Okay? Any questions about that? Okay. All right, so my hope is that this will be more manageable. I know that some of you have really struggled time-wise getting everything done and keeping up. So I'm hoping that these smaller essays will make it a little bit more focused so that you're not being frantic just trying to get stuff done. All right. I think I said all that. Now that we've covered the basics, giving you the ability to practice, I'm going to raise the bar. Yep. I think I said that. Extra time on the writing assignments. Okay. So, all right. Now, another thing. Word studies. Last time I assigned you 6 word studies. This year, or this semester, I'm only going to assign 4. So again, I'm bringing the number down, but what I want you to do is I want you to improve your abilities to research the meaning of words, write about your understanding of these words, and to make connections with the meanings. Okay? So I'm going to be raising the bar on the word studies again, and each word study is going to be worth 50 points, which is more than they were worth last time. As a result, I'm going to be looking for more information from the word studies. In particular, what I'm going to be looking for is more reasoning on your part and more relating. The word studies, you'll have a template that you can pull off of Brain Honey, type them in to that template. That will help you make sure you have everything. Just like with the short writing assignments, there will be a rubric associated with each of the 4 word studies. And I want you to to think about where you should put your time. Researching the words, researching the words of the prophets, and researching the various meanings of the words are important. But that's not the most important part of the word studies. The most important part of the word studies are the reasoning that you do and the way that you relate the meanings of those words to your own lives. So the majority of the points are going to be given for your reasoning and for your relating sections. All right. So look at the templates, and if you have individual questions, let me know, and I can help you with doing that. The template's not up yet. It should go up later today. I was putting up all the stuff on the course today. I got all of the slides in, and I started putting in the assignments. So again, just remember that now that you've had a semester of doing these, now you can give me just a little bit more, and as a result, what I've done is decrease the number. Okay, so I'm trying to accommodate everybody here. All right, any questions about word studies? Okay, no. All right. This is one thing that I ended up kind of giving up on and abandoning last time. I had so many troubles with it, but I've now solved all of those problems on Brain Honey, and so we are going to have some quizzes. The quizzes are not going to be particularly difficult, I don't think. They're going to be on the reading assignments. They are designed to help you make connections with the reading and demonstrate that you've read the reading assignments. The quizzes are worth 10 points each, and each quiz is designed to be taken in less than 10 minutes. All right. So hopefully, if you've read, you won't have any difficulty, and that you won't have to spend a great deal of time on this. Now, when you take these quizzes, you're going to be allowed to use your books, your notes, your packet, whatever information you have. So it's something that for you to look at. Most of the questions will be multiple choice, but there will be one short essay question at the end of each quiz that will allow you to tell me something, and that will be a relate question. It will ask you to relate to what you've read. So that'll be an opportunity for you to write me a paragraph or so about the reading assignment and to relate that to yourselves. Okay? All right. Any questions about the quizzes?
Will we be able to retake them?
That's a good question. I haven't really thought a lot about that. I probably will allow you to retake them. Let's see, there'll be 5 questions on each one. Each question will be worth 2 points. And so maybe what I can do is if you score lower than 80%, I can have you retake them. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Would anybody want to take them if you just miss one? Okay, not hearing anybody saying absolutely I would love to retake it if I just miss one. Then I'll probably say that if you score less than 80%, that you'll be allowed to retake it. Okay. All right. Now, finally, notebook pages. I'm going to change the notebook pages a little bit too. First off, I'm not going to have you turn your notebooks in as often. Last time I had you turn your notebooks in approximately every 2 lessons. This time you're only going to turn in notebook pages 7 times during the course of the semester. All right, so it's 4 to 5 lessons between each notebook. Like with the short writing assignments and the word studies, there will be a rubric. There will be a checklist for each notebook assignment so that you can make sure that you've done everything and included all the requirements for the notebook pages. Some of the notebook pages I got last semester were quite different, and I'd like to try to make them a little more uniform this semester. So that's what this checklist is going to be designed to do. Like last time, you can do them on a computer, you can write them on paper, or you can videotape them, or whatever else you want to do. Okay, pages that are done on paper, you can scan them, photograph them, or send them to me as hard copies. All right. So the notebook pages are going to compile over a period of time, and then you're going to submit them to me, so that you don't have to turn them in quite so often. Now, this semester, it is not necessary to illustrate the summaries of your reading. All right. I do that, the illustrations, because I think it helps you to understand better and make connections. The stuff we're reading this semester is not nearly as difficult as what we were reading last semester, with the exception of Henry V. And Henry V we're going to spend quite a bit of time on, so I think that'll be okay. However, if you want to illustrate the reading assignments, you can earn a total of 5 extra credit points by doing the illustrations. Okay, so last semester I didn't provide any opportunities for extra credit. This semester I'm going to provide some, and it's by doing the illustrations. All right, so if you want to do those, great. If you don't, you don't have to. All right. Instead, what I want your notebook pages to focus on is the reason and reflect exercises relating to the reading and lectures. All right. So I really want you to think about how what you've read is connecting to your life, how what you've read, either you enjoy it or you don't enjoy it. And I want you to kind of expand on that. I'd really like to see in your notebook pages you talking about things that you've read and really asking questions and discussing them with yourself. So for example, we're going to be talking about Connecticut Yankee first off. And you might have some real problems with some of the things that Hank Morgan, the main character, does. Some of the things that he does don't seem to make a lot of sense. And so when you read those, and I would like you to write, I don't understand why he has the band members executed. Here's this guy from America that has all of these privilege and upbringing, and he knows better, and yet he executes the band members because he can. Why? And so I want you to think about that. I also want you to try to reason about things and figure things out. Okay, and at the end of various lessons, I do give you some notebook questions that you should look at, and these are designed to help you to reason and reflect on the reading assignment that you've been given. Okay. Now, each group of notebook pages will be worth 25 points, and that's about the same amount that what I gave last time. So what I've done is I've kind of decreased the importance of notebooks to your overall grade. They're important still, I think that they're very helpful for you, but they're not going to count as much towards your overall grade as doing some of the other things. So again, I'm trying to take away some of that workload from you, but allow you to focus on the things that I think are important. All right, any questions about the notebooks?
Yeah, sorry, I've got tons of questions. But you know how we don't have a scanner, so we have to send you them in the mail?
Yes.
Do you want us, after we send the ones in the mail, do you want us to write in that little box and send it to you again?
Yes. So you would do the same thing, Tori and Mariah, that you did last time. You'd mail them to me, and then you would submit them, or write it in the box. I sent it to you, and then submit it.
Okay, good.
All right. Any other questions about notebooks? Okay, and we'll talk a little bit about these once we've got the first one ready to go, and I'll kind of point out to you the questions that I want you to focus on and things of that nature. Okay. All right, so this is how the semester looks with the total points. These are the only 5 kinds of assignments you're going to have. The formal essays are going to be 300 points. The short writing assignments are 250 points. Word studies 200 points. Quiz is 100 points, and the notebook page is 175 points, for a grand total of 1,025 points. Okay, so the amount of work that I've given you, I think, is a bit less than last semester, but I've given more points for the work because I think that I also like to see the quality improve. In other words, I want you to try to spend a little bit more time on things and see if you can bring it up to the next level. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Now, in addition, all of you here, I think, have a 20-minute consultation approximately every week. What I'd like you to do is the consultations, I think, are wonderful, and I really enjoy talking with you and spending time on talking with you and answering your questions. Sometimes the consultations don't happen for whatever reason, and that's fine, because I understand that we all have various things happening, and this time is really yours to do with any way that you want to do it. But what I'd like you to do is, if you want to postpone or reserve the consultation for another time, just let me know before the consultation. Send me an email, or you can even go onto Skype and send me an instant message and say, I'm not really ready for a consultation today. Let's do this next week, okay? I think that there's a couple of advantages to this. Some of you have some work that you haven't finished yet from last semester, and you want to reserve some consultations so that I can continue to help you with those things later on. Or maybe you've gotten behind on the assignments, and so you're not really really ready to have a consultation about something because you really haven't done much over the course of the last week. So when that happens, just postpone or reserve a consultation for another time. Just let me know. And I'm going to try to be really flexible with you and try to help out a lot. There are 2 days when I generally don't do consultations, and they're Mondays and Fridays. I will do consultations on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'll also do them for you on Saturday, okay, if you need that, but only if you really need it and you schedule it in advance, okay? But just keep that in mind. The consultations are designed for you. They're to help you. They're to give you an opportunity to ask me questions about something that you don't understand, particularly the assignments. And it's also an opportunity to go over your writing and to try to look at the aspects of your writing that you want to improve. Okay? So if you want to move one, or say I need to only have a 3-minute conversation with you here and I'd like to save the other 17 minutes for later, just let me know and we'll do that. Okay? All right, any questions about the consultations? Okay, now I have a question for you about the consultations. This week, I can do a consultation if you want for last semester, but the work for this semester, I haven't given you anything for it yet, so there wouldn't be a lot of points. So, Tori Mariah, do you want to do your consultation today?
Yeah.
Yes?
Well, yeah.
Okay. I'll call you then at 11 o'clock. Spencer, do you want to do your consultation this week?
I don't think so.
Okay. We'll hold yours for next week. Tanlin, what about you? I know you're trying to catch up.
I don't think so.
Okay. We'll hold yours then, and I'll just talk to you next week, okay?
Okay.
All right. And for anybody that's going to listen in on this after the fact, please let me know if you want to do your consultation this week, and you can just send me an email for that. All right. Now, when we do the consultations, what I want you to do is I'd like you to try to think about something that you want to talk to me about. Oftentimes, I start my consultations by asking you, what can I do for you today? And some of you have lists of things you want me to do, and some of you don't, and that's fine. And I understand if you don't have really anything in particular that you want to talk about, that's great, that's fine. But if you can have something, that helps both of us, I think. So have some questions or a piece of writing. The consultations that I think have been most effective, people have had questions about the following. They might have questions about the readings, about what something means, about why it was written this way, about some particular symbolism in the writing, or some difficulties in understanding what you're reading. Okay, so specific questions about the readings. Other ones are specific questions about your writings, particularly having me review something that you're drafting or that you're working on, or something that you just turned in and I've graded, and maybe you don't understand the grade I gave you or some of the comments that I've given you, or reviewing examples of your writing or draft essay. So having something for those consultations is very helpful, and I think it helps you and me both get the most out of those consultations that we can. I think I already talked about this. The major pieces of literature, they're all going to be, they match up with the 9th grade history course. Overall mission of the school. I think that slide should have been at the beginning, and I didn't move it there. Okay, last, I really am looking forward to this semester. Some of the pieces of literature that we're studying are really wonderful, and I really enjoy them. The two that I enjoy the most, I think, are Connecticut Yankee and Henry V. Henry V is one of my favorite plays from Shakespeare. And I hope that I don't bore you to death with how excited I am about it, but I really am excited about those. So I hope that you read them. I hope you enjoy them. I hope that we get the experience of writing and relating to the themes and concepts that we study that will help you to feel excited about this literature and to feel like it is important to you. One of the things that I don't want you to do is read the books and the plays or whatever and to go, wow, that's 10 hours of my life I'll never get back. I want you to really enjoy the things that you've read. I want you to try to see the things in there that I hope that I can help you to see. Now, one of the things that I want you to remember is try to read, write, and think prior to each class. If you've done the reading, you've thought about it, and you've written your notebook stuff before the class, then it will make everything much more achievable, and that you will have the ability to accomplish more with the course. Okay? All right. Any questions? Are we excited for the semester?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tamla, that didn't sound very excited.
Yay!
Yay, that better, much better. Spencer?
Yay!
Yay, very good. Excellent. Okay, good. All right. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope that you all enjoy it. And, as usual, if you have questions, call me here at the school. If I'm on Skype, you can try to get a hold of me. I can't always take your calls, but I try to. So just try to enjoy it. We're going to have fun. We're going to learn a lot, I hope. And hopefully this will all turn out to be a fabulous semester for everybody. Okay?
Mr. Hancock?
Yes.
Hey, we actually have an appointment right now, so can we actually do what's it called?
The consultation?
Yeah, that's it. Can we do it next week?
Yeah, we can do that next week. That's not a problem at all.
Okay. Sorry, thanks.
Not a problem. Okay. All right,
bye.
everybody. I'll see you on Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.